Hello to all my subscribers. This is NewYorkSteelo, and big shout out to those of you who are just tuning into my videos. Guys, if you like my videos, subscribe. The more subscribers that I have, the more videos I will release. This video here, we're going to be talking about some major changes that I've done to the sump. And I've basically changed the entire layout of the sump, and I've also replaced some of the equipment compared to my other 3-part video of the do-it-yourself sump. You guys know that this is a never-learning experience, and you never stop learning, and you always find better ways to run your system. And for that reason, I'm making this video to show you guys basically the changes that I've done. So on the first stage, there's not much of a change that has been done. Of course, I've got the 2 drains that are coming down into that first stage, and on this first stage, all I have is basically one mag drive 18, which is feeding my new skimmer, and I also have the float valve for the auto top off system. As you can see here, there's a little serpent striped sea star. I usually add him into the refugium area, but he likes to come in here and just live under the pump, so I leave him there. He keeps the area pretty clean. So basically, the mag drive 18 feeds the new skimmer that I have. Now, I was just doing some of the changes to the sump before I took the video, and I just finished, so of course the skimmer is going to take about 20 minutes to kick in. The skimmer is just really doing an excellent job. I haven't been releasing any videos recently because I was on vacation. I returned yesterday at 8 o'clock in the morning, and basically the skimmer had produced so much gunk that the collection waste container here was filled up all the way to the top. Now, I cleaned it out yesterday at 8 o'clock in the morning and have left it running, and when I woke up this morning, it had collected gunk up to this area here, and as the day went by, it is currently now about 9 o'clock at night. It has collected what you see in the waste container on the collection cup, and also this much gunk that you see here on the waste container. So it's a really great skimmer, highly recommended. So as you can see, some of the changes were that I had to replace the EV 180 with this new EV 240, which is much larger, it's 26 inches tall, and for that reason I had to lower my sand bed to about 5 inches. Oh, you can see here there's a little mice shrimp swimming around. So basically, onto the skimmer. Now, the output of the skimmer, I've done some major changes. I've also replaced this light fixture. Big shout out to Jim at LA Fish Guys. He was the one that put me up to this light fixture when I saw a video that he did on algae, on an algae filter. But we're gonna get to the light. Let's talk about the rest of the changes that I've done to the skimmer. Now, the output of the skimmer. The great thing about this skimmer is that it's really good at not releasing micro bubbles back into the display. However, since the water that comes out of the skimmer must always be above the water level in the sump, it creates a splashing from the water that's coming out of the skimmer via gravity and splashing on the surface of the water of the sump. Now, this creates noise, more micro bubbles than it should. So for that reason, I've added a T to the output, and it's really working really well. It's releasing the water back under into the Chaetomorpha spaghetti hair algae, and it is just working beautifully like this. It's a lot less noisy, the sump. I've never really had a problem with noise, but it's really done a great job. Now, another change that I've done to the sump, or that I plan to do to the sump, is that I plan to completely remove this type of macroalgae. This is Caulerpa Prolifera, it's called, I believe. And it's a very invasive type of algae which really grows to the point that, I mean, when I came back from vacation, it basically stunted the growth of the Chaetomorpha. So I've since trimmed it quite a bit, and will continue to do that until I completely eliminate this algae and replace it with the Chaetomorpha. Chaetomorpha, it's important for you guys to know that once the Chaetomorpha completely grows and there is no more space for it to grow, that's when you can start pruning it out and more algae can grow, and it'll basically become a nutrient export. One other change that I've done since is I've removed one of the filter pads here. I had two of them, but when I would add two, the water level on this last stage would drop significantly, causing me to change and clean out this foam pad more frequently, sometime like between at least twice within a 1 week period. This was a problem. I added one foam pad, that's all I need. No micro bubbles are escaping back into the tank. Now, as for the light, big shout out to Jim, LA Fish guys. The thing is that I was looking online for a light fixture that would give me a lot of wattage and yet be small enough to be approximately 12 to 13 inches. Now, I had seen some videos on LA Fish guys, and I saw that he used this type of light fixture, which is 12 inches across, but when it's fully built, it's actually 13 inches, and it gives off 65 watts of light. Now, there are not many lights out there that can actually do that. I had to replace my older lighting because it was 24 inches long. And since I've done the changes of adding this skimmer, I had to move the algae to the front area of the sump in front of the skimmer, and I really didn't need such a large light. So I asked him where he got this light, and he said he got it from Lights of America. And I ordered it, and it's doing really great. It's a really great light fixture. It gives off 65 watts of lighting, and it's working excellent. Now, another major change, as you can see, this thing is starting to rise. Sorry you don't see the skimmer working, but you know, I was doing these changes to the sump, and I just finished. So the final stage. Now, before, on this final stage, I had 3 pumps. Each one of the pumps, 2 of the pumps were feeding the 2 returns, and the last pump was feeding a UV sterilizer and a chiller. I've since removed all 3 of the Mag 7s that were there and have replaced it with a Mag Drive 18. The Mag Drive 18 is connected towards the back of the stand into the chiller. Now, I've since removed the UV sterilizer. I don't feel I need the UV sterilizer. I don't have an ick problem, nor do I have an algae problem, and that is because of the calcium reactors that I've added. But back to the chiller. The chiller now returns, the tubing comes down under the light and into this Y fitting that I have purchased here. Now this thing, I was looking for it all over the place. I found it on Marine Depot. It's basically Y-shaped insert fitting. So it took 1 pump and split it into 2 and gave me 2 returns for my display. So it's a very useful piece of equipment. It cost me about $5. What I have done now is that I only have 1 pump in the last stage, and it's a strong enough pump, and it's basically consuming less power because it's only 2 pumps that I have running the entire system. Also, quickly, as you see, I've added 2 calcium reactors. The maxi jets are here at the surface so as to not create scum, and I only have 10 minutes, people, so those are the changes that I've done to my sump. I hope you've enjoyed it. This is NewYorkSteelo signing out. Subscribe, people. Peace.